All right, the Doppler effect I think is one of the coolest behavior of waves. And the Doppler effect is the effect produced by a moving source of waves. So previously we were saying, okay, there was one disturbance and then the waves propagate from there. In this case, we have a moving source. So the thing creating the waves is constantly making them and moving at the same time. And so what the Doppler effect does is that there is an apparent increase, let me try to underline that, in the frequency for observers if the source is moving towards them, okay? And then there's an apparent decrease in the frequency for observers from whom the source is receding. So if the source is moving away from you, it seems to be a decrease. Now, that isn't an actual change in frequency. So if the police car were to stop, or if the moving item were to stop, the frequency is constantly the same. And if you were at the source the entire time, so say the source is a police siren, if you were with the police car the entire time, you would hear the same thing the entire time. So it's not an actual change, it just is an apparent or like a perceived change. Like from my point of view, it looks different based on, are you coming towards me? Are you coming away from me? Or am I with the source? So you tend to hear this all the time with emergency vehicle sirens. So for example, if an emergency vehicle is approaching you, there's a higher frequency and therefore a higher pitched sound, and then as soon as it passes, you get a lower sound. You've all experienced this. You hear one sound, and as soon as the car passes, the sound completely changes. And it's not that there's a different sound coming out of different sides of the speakers. It depends on the frequency that you're actually getting. So for example, in this case, at the bottom here, you can see that the car is moving to the right, and this person here gets all these waves closer together because, for example, the car sent off a wave and it's then going towards that wave and then emitting another wave. So the waves are closer together. On the other side here, a car emitted a wave and then it emitted another wave, but it was even further to the right. So that wave follows by a little bit further away, and therefore there's a longer wavelength, therefore a lower frequency, and therefore the sound changes.